Dear students, first course in your syllabus is about systematics and taxonomy, and I'm going to deliver the lecture on first unit where you will going to study about the definition and basic concepts of biosystematics and taxonomy. So in this article we will also discuss about the meaning of systematics, place of systematics in biology and contribution to the biology. The term systematics originated from the Latinized Greek word systema, means to put together. It was used by Linnaeus for the system of classification in the fourth edition of his book Systema Nature in 1735. Then in 1961, Simpson defined the term systematics as the scientific study of the kinds and diversity of organisms and of any and all relationships among them. More simply, systematics can be defined as the science of the diversity of organisms. So in the above definition, the word relationship is to be understood not in any particular narrow phylogenetic sense, but in a fully general way, including all biological interactions amongst the organisms. So the activity of systematics in studying relationship among kinds of organisms almost requires some formal system in which the organisms in question are grouped into classes. Thus, it involves a classification and nomenclature. So zoological classifications are the ordering of animals into groups or sets on the basis of their relationships or of association of by contiguity, similarity, or both. Zoological nomenclature is the application of distinctive names to each of the groups recognized in any zoological classification. So systematics is thus taxonomy plus the biological interrelationships, breeding systems and genetics, phylogeny and evolutionary processes, biogeography and synecology. The relevance of synecology, it means the study of multi-specific communities as a branch of systematics is due to the study of relationship among diverse organisms. And autoecology, it means the study of relationship between particular kinds of organisms and their environment. So study of convergence and genetics is also related to the systematics. So the species problem, one of the major focus of attention in systematics is fundamentally a genetic problem. So taxonomy is thus an information system comprising of classification, nomenclature, description and identification. So according to Christopherson, taxonomy has become the most basic activity in biology, dealing exclusively with the discovery, ordering and communication of patterns of biological taxa. It, however, leans heavily on systematics for its concept. So both systematics and taxonomy are interrelated. So if we define the taxonomy, it means it derives from the two Greek words, taxis meaning arrangement and normos meaning law. So it was first proposed in 1813 by A.P.D. Candelet, a professor of Montpellier University in France, in its French form for the theory of plant classification. Then taxonomy is the theoretical study of classification, including its basis, principles, procedures and rules. So according to Meyer, taxonomy is the theory and practice of classifying organisms. So when we talk about of the classification of organisms, then taxonomy is used. So Meyer's systematics and origin of species also employ the geographical data throughout. So there are levels of taxonomy, alpha, beta and gamma. There are three phases of taxonomy which are symbolized as alpha, beta and gamma taxonomy. So alpha taxonomy means it's an analytical phase in which the species are identified, characterized and named. So at this level, when a new species is discovered, it is named in accordance with the lineage system of binomial nomenclature. So here priority is given to the one who publishes his work first. So all problems related to species are dealt here. Beta taxonomy, it refers to the arrangement of the species into a natural system of hierarchical categories. So this is done on the basis of easily observable shared structural features and evaluation of numerous characters. Thus, beta taxonomy relates to the search of a natural system of classification. So each taxon would thus possess diagnostic feature unique to that taxon. Gamma taxonomy. Finally, gamma taxonomy designates the analysis of intraspecific variations and evolutionary studies. So much attention is paid to the casual interpretation of organic diversity and study of speciation. So, but in actual, it is rather very difficult to dissociate them because these overlap and integrate. So there are only a few groups of animals such as birds and some insects where the taxonomy has reached up to the level of gamma. So otherwise, in almost majority of the groups, the works are still at the alpha and beta level. Then scope of taxonomy. It works out a vivid picture of existing organic diversity. Then it provides us the much information about the reconstruction of phylogeny of life. It also reveals various evolutionary phenomena and other branches of biology. Then it also supplies information needed by the various branches of biology, and it provides names for each kind of organism. It differentiates the various kinds of organisms and it provides the classification. It is also important in the study of economically or medically important organisms, thus contributes significantly to the broadening of biology and to a better balance within the biological science as a whole. Then the place of systematics in biology. One of the major preoccupations of systematics is to determine by comparison what the unique properties of every species and higher taxon are. Then it determines the properties certain taxa have in common with each other and what the biological causes for the differences or shared characters are. It concerns itself with variation within the taxa. So systematics deals with population, species and higher taxa. Then contribution of systematics to biology. There is immense contribution of systematics to other branches of biology and to humankind as a whole. The study of organic diversity prior to the rise of genetics was entirely carried out by the systematics. Virtually all major evolutionary problems were brought to the forefront and solved by the systematics. Then pattern diversity. Organic diversity is not chaotic but pattern, so revealing all sorts of regularities. The task of systematics is to discover the true nature and causation of these patterns. It is the task of systematics to find out the reasons behind the causation of such similarity. It is due to common descent or due to adaptation to an equivalent adapting zone. All evolutionary processes of phenomena can only be studied reliably if a sound taxonomic foundation is present. Then in applied biology, the contribution of systematics both directly and indirectly has been noticed in applied sciences like medicines, public health, agriculture, conservation, management of natural resources, etc. In epidemiology also. Then biological control. So another example is biological control of insect pest. For a brief period, it appeared that biological control had become absolute owing to the success of chemicals. Because of the adverse effect of these chemicals on human health, applied entomologists had to revert increasingly to the biological control. The work of the taxonomist or systematics is to find out the parasites that attack the various pests so as to control these pests. Wildlife management. So taxonomists have contributed to environmental protection by identifying all the endangered plants and animals that are endangered due to anthropogenic causes. Then determination of sequential events. So dating of rocks is generally done through the radioactive decay, but sedentary rocks can be dated through their enclosed flora and fauna. So taxonomist plays a vital role by identifying such flora and fauna and formulating a clear picture of the geological events. Environmental problems. Various environmental problems have been successfully tackled by the systematics. Tracing the movement of these pollutants in the food chain also requires the identification of various species that constitute the biotic community. So systematics have revealed that various species of plants and animals act as indicators of pollution. The identification of such species in a particular location helps in the rapid, inexpensive monitoring of the pollutants and degrade the concerned environment. Then soil fertility. Many animals and microbes play a very important role in increasing the soil fertility. So it is essential to locate such species and detect the role they play in the soil fertility. Then there are some exotic species also which are introduced into the India. So this has been made possible only through the correct identifications by the systematist. So theoretical biology, one of the two roots of population genetics is systematics. The problem of multiplication of species was solved by them. So it was systematics who continued to uphold the importance of natural selection when early Mendelian thought that mutation had eliminated the role of natural selection, as an evolutionary understanding of mimicry provided the first clear proof of the importance of natural selection in evolution. So development of ethology and the study of the phylogeny of behavior were developed by the taxonomist and naturalist. So thus systematics have contributed to a healthy balance in the biological science. So both systematics and taxonomy are interrelated. So we can just classify the organism, we can give the proper classification and put them systematically through the application of systematics and taxonomy. So I think you would just go through these terms and then clear your points about the systematics and the taxonomy. Thanks.